Today we're going to talk about how to make a mud pony. In order to make one, you're going to need one piece of clay that has an X cut in it, and I will provide that for you. Another piece of clay about that big, some Q-tips, a skewer, and some water. We're going to start with the ball of clay that has the X cut in it. The X are going to become your four legs. So I'm going to start in the middle like this. I'm going to push my hand in like that and give a little squeeze. That's one leg. I'm going to come over here and give a little squeeze gently. That's another leg. I'm going to give a little squeeze up here. That's another leg. And I'm going to give another squeeze over here, and that's another leg. And then once I have the legs kind of formed, I'm going to start to form them even more, okay, by kind of squeezing around them, okay, like that. So they're clearly four legs, and there's a little valley in there, okay, and I'm just gently squeezing and using my fingers like this to start to form the legs, the four legs. You might even want to turn it over like that so it starts to look like a pony's body. Okay, and also give a little press gently. Don't slam it down, just gently give a little press. And the purpose of that is to make sure that all four legs are kind of equal. Okay, I'm also going to smooth the back a little bit and the front a little bit. And you can see I'm kind of working around. I'm elongating that body a little bit by squeezing the sides like this. Okay, and you might want to check to make sure that your legs are looking like horse legs. Okay, check, make sure the back is nice and smooth. All right, and when that starts looking like you like it, you're going to put it down again and just give a gentle little pat to make sure that all four legs are equal. Okay, then I'm going to take the smaller ball and I'm going to split it in half, and this is going to become the head and neck and the mane and tail. Okay, I'm going to start by taking one half and rolling back and forth till it's a super thick coil. Okay, it should be about as thick as your thumb. Then I'm going to start squeezing it down so it's an L shape, and so that the front starts to look like a horse's face. Okay, it's going to kind of feel like a J or a sock at first. I'm giving a little squeeze to elongate that face there, and you don't want the neck too long, but you want it long enough so that it looks like a horse's neck. Then I'm going to flatten that one side like that so I have a nice flat side. I'm going to use my skewer to score it. Remember, scoring is just drawing like number signs or tic-tac-toe so that the water can get in there and do its job. Where I'm going to put that horse's neck, I'm also going to score, drawing some number signs and lines and tic-tac-toe just so that it can, the water can get in there. I'm going to use just one finger of water and rub it on that scoring, and one finger of water and rub it on that scoring. The water is going to act as our slip or our clay glue. Then I'm going to push those two together firmly like that. Okay, and now it looks more like a dinosaur than a horse to me, so I'm going to start working on it a little bit. I'm going to start using my fingers to blend it around the front legs like that, so it looks like a horse's chest. All right. Check out the neck, and then make the head look a little bit more like a horse's head. All right. Then I'm going to bend it down a little bit so it feels more horse-like. And then I'm going to use my Q-tip just a little bit. You notice that it looks like it's one piece of clay now, except here in the back. So I'm going to get my Q-tip wet and just kind of blend around in there until those seams disappear. Okay, and then I'm going to put my Q-tip over there for later. All right, so starting to look a little bit like a horse. I'm going to use my skewer to put an eye. Horse's eyes are on the side, so I'm going to put an eye here. And I'm going to put another eye over on the other side like that. Okay. Then I'm going to check my horse's nose, make sure it's a little rounded, and make sure it's bent down so it looks like a horse. Okay. Open up that eye again. Then it's time to think about the tail and the mane. Okay. So that leftover piece of clay, I'm going to break it into two. For the tail, I'm going to break half of it into 3 parts and roll back and forth. You can actually do 4 parts if you like, or 3 parts, but your goal is to have long, skinny coils. So I have 1. I'm making the coils by rubbing them back and forth in my hand like that. 2 and 3. And I'm thinking I might want a 4th one, so I'm going to take a little pinch from that leftover clay, just enough to make a 4th coil. Then I'm going to take them all together at the top and give a little squeeze like that so they all stick together. Okay? And I'm going to leave them hang down like that because I want the tail to be nice and look like it's long hair. Okay? I'm going to get it wet back here, and you might even want to score it a little bit. Remember, that's drawing those number signs. And then this, the coils, you aren't going to want to score because you don't want them to get smushed or too close together. Okay, then I'm going to blend it into the horse's tushy, like that. Kind of all the way around and make sure that all of those are nice. Alright, and then I'm going to stand my horse up, and I'm going to use my skewer just to kind of decide where I'm going to chop that tail off. Okay, and I might even want to pick it up a little bit like that. Okay, so that my horse has a nice flowing tail. Then the last thing I'm going to think about is the mane. Okay, the mane is made with one singular coil, so I'm going to go back and forth and back and forth. You don't want it too thick or too heavy or it'll look funny. And you do want to score all the way down the top of the head like this, down the back of the neck like this, and I like to score a little bit on the back like that. Then I'm going to create a flat side for that mane, and I'm going to use my skewer to score that as well. Alright. I'm going to put some water on the scoring on the head and neck. I'm going to put some water all the way down the mane. Okay, I know that the mane's going to be a little too long. I like my mane to be up on the forehead a little bit like that, and then I'm going to lay it down the back like that. And I'm going to break it off right about here because that's probably where my horse's mane should stop. Alright, then it's time to work it into the neck a little bit like that. Alright, and then you're going to want to get your Q-tip busy, going all the way around. You do want to make sure that that mane's pressed on nicely. Okay, you're painting it literally so that there's wet clay coming off on your Q-tip. Places to make sure that it's really sealed in well is here where the neck meets the mane, meets the back. Okay, you don't want a gap or a hole there. Alright, and then I'm going to turn it around to the other side and check out the other side with my wet Q-tip, okay, especially here where the neck and the back meet, okay, and then I'm going to rub up front here on the face a little bit to make sure that that sticks and stays on. And then I like to use my skewer and literally start drawing in so it looks like hair. And I'm going to do that on both sides. Turn the horsey around to the other side. Okay. Make sure there's no little clay dots like that. Alright. And you can draw as much or as little as you like. You can even draw some down here onto the neck like that so it looks more natural. I like to draw a little bit on the front too, like that. Okay, then you want to check everything. I notice there's a little dot there, which I don't like, so I'm going to use my Q-tip to make sure it's filled in nicely. I like the nose to be nice and smooth. I like the chest here to be nice and smooth. I like those legs to be strong. Okay, you're going to check the sides and make sure it's looking like you want it to. I see another little hole there like I talked about on the other side. So I'm going to fill that in with my Q-tip and smooth a little bit. Okay, I'm going to check my tail and make sure it flows into the back nicely. All right, check the rear legs. And then I'm going to set it down at last to make sure that the legs are all even. If they're not even, you might want to just give a little push on the back to make sure they're even and your horse will stand nicely. Then the last thing you're going to do is write your name and class code on your paper plate. You're going to set your pony on your paper plate, and then you're going to set it on the gray cart until next time. And then next time we'll decide whether we want to paint it or whether we want to glaze it. Thank you.